tired, I can stand right here and talk all night if you want. I ain't got no place to be, no one's waiting for me. I won't lie, I'm into you. Got like a million ideas what we could do. Cause I'm not gonna let you slip away, I won't waste this. There's something about the way you fix your eyes on me. I can't help myself, fall in love, I go crazy. What you wanna do now? Should we head back to my place? When you give me that smile, I think my heart's turning up the pace. I don't care about what we do if I get to
이제 숙소에 막 체크인을 하고 짐 정리를 하고 있어요. 아침에 너무 급하게 나오느라고 데일리룩을 찍을 시간이 없었는데 마침 전신 거울을 발견해서 옷 갈아입기 전에 오늘 입었던 룩 소개드리려고 합니다. 자켓은 제가 굉장히 최근에 자라에서 구매했었던 좀 찰랑거리는 소재의 굉장히 얇은 자켓인데 이번 여행에서 햇빛 가리는 용으로 입으려고 가져왔어요. 이너는 화이트 탱크탑 착용하고 제가 여행 때마다 즐겨 착용하는 이 목걸이랑 귀걸이 이번 여행에도 계속하고 보내보려고 합니다. 바지는 제가 종종 착용하는 아리치아의 팬츠 입어봤어요. 신발은 이번에도 뉴발란스 신발 여분으로 하나 더 가져와봤습니다. 그럼 저는 슬슬 옷도 갈아입고 저녁 먹을 준비해보도록 할게요. 오늘은 아침 일찍 엔젤스 랜딩에 갔다가 더 네로우즈에서 하이킹을 하고 올 생각이라 이렇게 한번 입어봤어요. 자켓이랑 탑이랑 바이커 셔츠는 모두 베리시 제품이고요. 예전에 보여드렸었던 살로몬의 모자 착용해봤습니다. 가방은 몽베레 제품 가득 채워서 들고 나가보려고 해요. 그럼 전 이렇게 입고 얼른 나가보도록 하겠습니다. 다녀올게요.
for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. For our home to show on the horizon, soon we'll be there. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore when we can't read the sky. We just sail with the wind that
이번 숙소 마지막 날이라서 체크아웃을 하고 나가보기 전에 잠깐 오늘 입은 옷 보여드리고 싶어서 카메라를 켜봤습니다. 자켓이랑 바지는 모두 제가 이전 영상에서 보여드렸었던 클로텍 제품이고요. 이너는 알로유가의 탑 받쳐 입었습니다. 반딧의 모자 착용하고 같은 실버 귀걸이 착용해봤어요. 여기에 가방은 오늘은 이 컬러의 노스페이스 슬링백으로 좀 가볍게 들고 가보려고 해요. 이제 짐도 다 챙겼고 얼른 체크아웃하고 다음 여행지로 이동해 보도록 하겠습니다. 나가볼게요.
The picture shows a ladder, but we pulled that out and put stairs in. Once you go up the stairs, you're immediately at the second fall. There the water's anywhere from a foot to 2.5 feet deep.
goosebumps to my skin. Tonight the whiskey feels stronger. Gasoline on hidden desires. So I'll throw
Sei que o nosso
저희는 이제 두 번째 숙소에서 체크아웃하고 나가보려고 합니다. 오늘은 제가 평소 운동할 때 즐겨 입는 벨로 요가의 자켓이랑 반바지 착용해봤고요. 이너로는 베리씨의 브라탑 같이 입어봤습니다. 여기 좀 많이 다크한 날이라서 가방은 흰색으로 골라봤어요. 귀걸이는 같은 걸로 착용해봤습니다. 그럼 체크아웃 시간이 다가와서 저는 얼른 나가보도록 하겠습니다.
Where did the time go? How do we move so far away? Holding on, how much can we both take when love is an echo? I can't hear what you're saying when love is an echo. I can't hear what you're saying. Strong lessons burn brighter, that makes us two fighters. And what I'm asking tonight is, could we get back to where we started? So what do you say to that? I know we both hurt bad, and you won't forget the facts. But I believe in what we had. Holding on, how much can we both take when life is an echo? I can't hear what you say. Rusty red on her shoulder, I was cleaning her shoe when it clicked on the trot over in the bright morning dew. We brushed and we braided dandelions and chewed. It was a mutual arrangement we both saw into. But can she walk in the fire? Can she run in the rain? Can she make it up the mountainside? Can she make it down again? I have often wondered if she'll go and jump the fence. Will she keep on moving onward or stay in what could have been? Broke my arm in December, we were running for the thrill. You turned in the canyon to the snowbank where I fell. Even still, I remember knowing she could feel it too. Was a mutual arrangement, we both knew what to do. She had a star on her forehead that was easy to find. When shipwreck in the dark, far from the harbor, far from the start. In a storm, I lost my sails, I lost all direction, got caught in the veil. I didn't know love till you found me. I didn't know love, lost in the sea. I didn't know love till you found me. for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn.
Wish I could care less. It isn't my place to know what it says. My heart is a front page. It won't act its own age. It aches as it bends, folds at the edges. I'm out of my head. Say that we're fine and all, 'cause we are. Where's that confidence for someone who finds it hard to remember? Where's that common sense? And now I wish to forget like normal people forget. What's pen on a paper? Just wait till you make
저희는 이제 라츠에서 체크아웃을 하고 다시 베가스로 이동해 보려고 합니다. 제가 여행 내내 잘 쓰고 있는 살로몬의 모자 착용해봤고요. 브랜디 멜빌의 기본 티셔츠, 그리고 목걸이랑 H&M의 러닝 쇼츠 입어봤습니다. 가방은 오늘도 몽벨의 백팩 들고 나가보려고 해요. 그럼 저는 이제 얼른 체크아웃하고 다음 여행지로 이동해 보도록 하겠습니다. 나가볼게요.
Trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, 'cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go, baby. I gotta tell you that I've been looking for love so true. When I was down and out, along came you. Though you might be a liar and a cheater too, I just can't quit you now 'cause I love you. Yes, I do. I can't let you go, baby. I can't let you go, baby. 'Cause I love you, I love you.
마지막 날이라서 지금 숙소에서 체크아웃하고 잠깐 베가스 둘러보다가 공항으로 가보려고 해요. 기내에서 편안하게 입을 수 있는 후디 자켓 꺼내 입어봤고요. 첫날 입었던 탱크탑에 같은 목걸이 착용해봤습니다. 필요한 짐을 빨리 꺼낼 수 있도록 이런 작은 파우치 메고 가려고 해요. 바지는 카고 팬츠 입어봤습니다. 그럼 저는 이렇게 입고 얼른 체크아웃 하러 나가볼게요.
It's 1 a.m. and I ain't tired. I can stand right here and talk all night if you want. I ain't got no place to be, no one's waiting for me. I won't lie, I'm into you. Got like a million ideas what we could do. Cause I'm not gonna let you slip away, I won't waste this. There's something about the way you fix your eyes on me. I can't help myself, fall in love, I go crazy. What you wanna do